Good evening and welcome to the Indie Voice Show, where artists can listen, learn, and grow with knowledge empowering success. And now, here is your host, singer, songwriter, entrepreneur, Miss Wendy Hicks.
Hello, my Indie Voice family. How are you? So good to be back in the studio. Last week I was live, went off-site to interview some of the folks that are a part of the Giz, which is DC's own go-go version of the Wiz. That was really exciting. Had a chance to meet folks that I'd never met, and that's always appealing to me. And we're going to continue to follow them as they move along in this, in the production and, you know, getting all the actors and things in place. But give a shout out. And I see David, one of the actors that was there. Didn't get a chance to interview you, David, but, you know, hopefully I'll get a chance to in the future. So now we are back, and I have my friend here, Reds, the producer. What's up, Reds?
Hey, what's up?
You know, and I posted a video earlier when I was on my way to the station because I wanted to, and as we talked last night, you know, I always want to have a topic so that those folks that are watching can have something that they can take away. And one of the things that you mean to me in terms of, you know, not just a producer and the beats and, you know, the fabulous studio in your home and all that, but you represent my very first track off of my project, which has been a long time coming.
Right.
So I thought it would be great to just kind of talk about that journey, like, you know, kind of talk about how we met and what that was like in terms of, you know, the whole recording process, the whole, you know, selecting beats, because that was tedious in and of itself. Right. And then just, you know, what it was like, because you will learn that everyone, you know, you think that you're experiencing or feeling something and you are alone in that feeling, but when you let it out and tell other people about it, then they're pretty much feeling the same way. Some of those anxieties that come along with recording live in the studio, that's tough. A lot tougher than performing in front of an audience. Just talking about the whole marketing aspect, and also want to give kudos to you because you just released another video. You've been cranking these videos out, and we're going to talk about that soon. And we'll get to that when we start the interview portion. But wanted to also say, I am an affiliate of the Indie Bible, and if you could just show the cover, Jay, of the Indie Bible, wanted to kind of give folks an idea. So the Indie Bible is an excellent resource for whether you want to know, like, in whatever part of the world you're interested in going, if you're looking for promoters, if you're looking for people to manage, promote, if you're looking for people to critique your work, review, blogging is a very starting to become a very well-known form of marketing. So, you know, if you want to have a directory of all of those things, it's great for that. But it's also very resourceful in terms of the articles that it provides, like as far as it addresses social media. What are some of the tools that have been successful? What are the pros and the cons of those tools? It offers like as far as you've got the marketing, it also kind of just talks about how you find promoters, how you initiate managers, and it's like I said, it's endless. And you know, I try to pull articles from that from time to time just to spread some information so that you guys can be informed. And we'll definitely get back to doing that. But I wanted to dedicate this show because we've got some videos, we've got a live performance, we've got some catching up to do.
Right.
So we're going to, you know, make sure we have enough time for all of that. So we're going to go into the Have You Heard segment, where it's an opportunity for me to introduce my audience to folks that I think they should check out. Now, I happen to be on Facebook, and this person, I'm surprised I have not, well, I'm not surprised, but in a way, because we have quite a few similar friends, or the same friends, but his name is Lamone Andrews, and he's out of Connecticut, and he has a video called Slowly But Surely, and I thought this was hot. So I want you guys to check it out, take a look, and we'll be right back.
week, thinking of going to Cancun.
Sounds like fun.
Then partying the rest of the week. I hope y'all gonna be there.
Oh, we will.
Party.
That's right,
Party.
party time.
Yo, what's up? What's going on?
Hey, where you
I'm
been?
here.
Why you so late?
I had to take a shower, change my clothes, do the guy thing.
All right.
What's this, a Long Island, Strong Island?
That's your dream. Listen, we were just getting ready to get into karaoke. You put your name on the
Karaoke?
list. That's right.
I don't even get a chance to get nice first.
You can get nice later.
Nice already.
What's up? Hey. So you got your horn. All right.
I think that we should take our time, but I'm still gonna blow your mind another way. We gon' try this differently. Pace it slow and moderately. We got all day. Reach the point of no return. Pull it back so we don't burn. Take it slow. Destination ecstasy. We'll climax in harmony. This I know. Yeah. Slowly but surely. We're gonna find a way. Slowly but surely. Light the candles, make a fire. We gon' heighten the desire. Ooh, yeah. Turn the ringer off the phone. This is our time alone. Ooh, I'm gonna ease it in. Slowly but surely. We gon' find a way. Slowly but surely. Ooh. Ha. Old school whispers on the radio. Gonna kiss from head to toe. Yeah. Down your back and round to your neighbor. Come on, come on. Darling, we'll get there just slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. Darling, we'll get there just slowly but surely. We're gonna find a way. We gon' take our time. Don't wanna rush a thing. Slowly but surely.
Yes, and we're back. And again, that was Lamone Andrews, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I came across the video and I was instantly a fan. So, I have to try to get him to Skype in one of these days and do a quick interview. Wanted to thank you for the reminder. So I announced when I was on my way here to the studio that I just found out that on the Soul Connoisseurs Top 20, You Make Me Wanna is on the list. Woo woo! I'm so excited about that. Yeah, so my latest single was released on October 24th. So it seems to be doing pretty well. People are responding pretty well to it over in the UK, and I'm grateful for that. Now we just got to get it over here and get people to respond to it. I'm getting good feedback, but let's keep them coming. Let's keep them coming. Joy says hello, Kevin. So let's get to you, Reds. Now let's talk about. There are so many angles to this interview, like how we met. We talk about how important it is. Connections. You never know how, because I think the very first time we met was probably on the Metro a gazillion years ago when you and Candace, I think y'all might have first just gotten married.
Yeah, I think so.
And she told me that, her husband is a musical genius and I needed to connect with you. And who would have thought then that we would have ended up in the studio years later and you produced my first track?
Right.
Wasn't that something?
Yeah, that was something.
Can we kind of play The Mask in the background? And I do have it. It should have been copied over. So yes, and with that, again, the message of you never know when you are in contact with someone, the role that they're going to play in your life down the line. Yeah, you never know. And it's important to build relationships and to stay positive with those relationships. Don't just be out trying to use people and take advantage and be nasty, because you just don't know. Yeah. Like this young lady sitting over here, I have no idea what role she could possibly play in my future. Look, and so the process for me when I did finally connect with you and came to your home and you had this massive library of beats and music. Right. You remember that?
I remember that.
And it was like one for me, and I can only speak for me, and I'm hoping that in sharing this information it connects with someone else. Writing, that was the first song that I had ever written, The Mask. And I think I heard the music first. And then I started writing to it.
Right.
And I was like, so then the process began.
Right.
And we went back and forth, trying to make the lyrics fit.
Yeah, trying to make the lyrics fit. Make sure the music was right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then you getting on me in the studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speak up a little bit, Reds.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
And for me, the whole, even being in the studio, it can be very intimidating. Live performances, I'm great. I like that connection with the audience. But when you're in front of the mic and it's just you and the mic in that booth, there's just something very intimidating about it. And so it speaks to making sure that there's also a connection with the person that you're working with. Because if I didn't feel comfortable and trust you with the process, then we wouldn't have come up with such a great song.
Yeah. Well, it takes a lot of work from a producer's perspective. You gotta fill out the artist and what they're trying to do and look at their vision and what they're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't trying to change no artist. I just want to make them better than what they are.
Mm-hmm. Now your style is predominantly more so like hip hop, right?
Yeah, I do a lot of hip hop and trap, and I do all kind of music though. So I'm not really stuck on one genre of music. I try to, because music is a universal language,
Mm-hmm.
So, I just try to make the project fit to whatever's necessary,
mm-hmm.
and get it done according to what the artist or with the movie or whatever they want. So that's how I produce music. So I'm not just stuck on one lane.
Mm-hmm. Now you said something about movies. You just reminded me because you've done scores for movies.
Yeah.
And so what was that experience like?
It's It's a rewarding experience. You know, one thing I learned in movie scoring is that directors are very meticulous about the music and how they want, you know, the music to fit in the scenes. Because you can do a lot of music, but none of it might not fit. And you know, the directors, you got to kind of listen to the director and what they want. But it is a really good experience, and I learned a lot from working with different directors and scoring and, you know, different scenes, because, you know, it gets down to the millisecond of each scene and snapshot. And
That sounds very tedious.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work, and it's involved, you know. But you can't take anything personal. You can't wear your feelings on your sleeve. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pretty much listen, you know. And if you got, you know, 40, 50 tracks and none of them work, then you have to go back and you know, reconstruct what they asking for. You know what I mean?
So now, which do you prefer? Or is it both about the same? Do you prefer doing the movie scoring, or do you prefer working one-on-one with artists?
I prefer working with artists. But I like both. But, you know, the reason why I prefer working with artists is because it's more dynamic.
Each person is different,
yeah,
right?
each person's different. But when you're talking movie scoring, you know, you're talking long hours, you know, of constantly looking at film, and, you know, like you said, sometimes it does it gets real tedious, and you have to, you know, focus on that. So.
Okay, so let's go through a scenario. So I'm an artist that's watching, and I want to start my project, and I'm looking for beats, and I want to connect with you. Walk me through that whole process from connecting with you to actually ending up in the studio recording that first song.
Well, the first thing, you know, you gotta have some talent. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna work with you if you know, you gotta sing or something or rap. But so I'm sorry to cut you off. So does that mean that? Oh, so you're not gonna someone off the street that just wants to make a song, a record. There is a process. You're not gonna just take anyone that wants to pay you for a song. Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of rappers and a lot of artists out here, and I ain't knocking nobody on what they do, but you know, some are good, some are great, and then some, you know, they're just, you know, who they are, trying to build their craft. But I don't try to knock anybody for what they're trying to do in life. But I mean, if I work with you, then it's basically because I saw something in you that is something that I like. You know, you've got to be special to me, or stand out, you know, something like that.
And from that, do you ask like questions to kind of figure out where they are musically or what their style is, so that you know what music would work best for them?
Yeah, and for one, the first thing I do is, you know, I think, is this person serious or not, or are they just doing it for fun? Some people just do it for hobbies. Some people like do it once a year, you know, that type of thing. But you got to be serious. If it all depends on what they want to do. So I might ask them, well, where are you trying to take it? If you're just trying to, you know, be a neighborhood person that does a song, there's nothing wrong with that either. But if you want to be serious, because again, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of work and a lot of, you know, prep work. You know, just doing the music by itself, it can take a while, take a long time getting it done. So that's what I look for.
Okay. And now, so I saw that, again, you have your latest release, which is I Know, and we'll watch the video shortly, and we'll get a chance to hear you perform it live. Okay. So now, are you focusing more on producing yourself now, or are you still producing other artists?
Well,
where's the focus?
Yeah, I'm still producing other artists and movies, and but I'm trying to work on my album right now. But that's kind of, it's like a side project I'm doing for me. But I'm still producing artists, and you know, I'm still open. I'm still looking for, you know, good artists that are, you know, willing to put in the work and time, you know, to get the product done.
Okay, all right. So, all right, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll come back and ask you a few more questions about the process and talk more about what you're doing, and then we'll get a chance to see you live.
Okay.
Be right back. Oh my goodness, we're back. All right, we had a little bit of comic relief going on in here.
Yeah.
See those? Those of you that are watching behind the scenes, y'all hear what's going on. Those of you that are watching on listenvisionlive.com, again, welcome back. So glad to have you here. I have Rez, the producer, joining me here, or that has joined me here, my co-host for the evening.
That's right.
And
What's up? Co-hosting the show.
Yes, yes. I mean, we're reunited, and it feels so good, right? All right, so let's talk more about your history. You know, coming up as a producer, was that something that you started out aspiring to be, or did you aspire to be a rapper and it kind of evolved into that? Was it because sometimes too people, and when we say evolve, it's out of necessity. Sometimes, especially in this whole do-it-yourself kind of independent artist thing that's going on, you kind of have to wear all these different hats.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, what was it like for you starting out?
Well, for me, it was, I grew up listening to bands, and like my uncle had a band back in the day. It was called JMFF. They did a lot of funk music, and you know, so I listened to, you know, old school music, new school music, and just being around different bands. And so I first started off wanting to be an artist, but it didn't really turn out that good for me. And then I was trying to learn, like, I wonder how you make beats. And I didn't really know the process and what to do. And this is way before, you know, like the newest Pro Tools or Logic now. And so, you know, I started looking at old drum samplers and stuff like that, like MPCs, and then that's how I got into making beats. And I was like, oh, this is cool, and playing the keyboard. And then once I started there, you know, I just kept going from there. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I started working with different people, you know, putting out stuff. And then I had a partner at one time, that was years ago, and then that kind of didn't work out. And then I kind of just branched off into Rez the producer and became my own entity, you know what I'm saying? Because I figured I didn't really need you know, a partner at that time, and, you know, it was just, so I just went off on my own lane, started doing my own thing.
Okay. Now I'm looking at your bio, and we are talking about some of the things that you have written here, but it says in your home-based studio where you honed your craft and really strengthened it. You say that you developed your own style and production tricks using production tools to master your skill and talent.
Right.
So what kind of production trick? I mean, are those industry secrets, or are there some things that you'd like to share? What are some of these production tricks?
Well, it's no secret, right? But you know, I think every producer has their own way and form that they take a sound and manipulate the sound how they want to manipulate it. You follow what I'm saying? So it's not really a big secret. But I learned a lot from different people that I've met throughout my career too, like DJ Cool. You know,
Yes.
he's a good friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in a while, but
Yes.
you know, shout outs to DJ Cool.
Yes.
He taught me, you know, a lot about sampling and you know how you should sample, and you know, like little tips and stuff he gave me. He'd been over the house, and I just learned stuff throughout the years of different people. You know, some famous people, some you know just average people just trying to learn, and but you know, that's pretty much how it's been for me.
Now let me ask you. I'm glad you said something about sampling because I remember I mentioned to you briefly, and we'll talk more about it off air. But in terms of, I wanted to recreate the mask because you know it was done quite some time ago. But I want to use a sample, and
Okay.
I'm not sure if I remember or if I even heard correctly that it's harder to get permission to sample than it is to actually redo a cover song. Is that true? That whole process?
Yeah, well, it all depends on how the owner of that sample wants to, you know, the business side of it. Because some are hard to get a sample clearance. You got to get a sample clearance, and it could take a long time. But it is easier to just duplicate what's there. You know, and a lot of cats do just recreate it. You know, in their studio, and you know that way you don't have to worry about getting sued and all that type of stuff. So,
Right. But when you say
Yeah.
recreate, though,
yeah.
aren't you still, when you're recreating, if you're using a little bit of that song, don't you still have to get permission?
No, if you're recreating it, then it's technically you're not stealing the audio sound of the artist.
Okay.
You playing it instrument. So, but in order to recreate it, you know, it takes a lot to recreate too.
Right.
Because you know, if you got a sample and the sample got 50 instruments in it, then you gotta try to recreate that, and you know, then it becomes involved and it's
Okay.
time consuming too. So it's not easy either way. So
But what I like about that sampling style is, with the sampling style, I like how people are now. I mean, it's nothing new, but for me personally, I like the whole taking a sound that's familiar, something that reminds people back in the day, and you're bringing it to today. So it's like they automatically connect with it.
right.
That's what I like about it. And again, I've thought about adding a sample to that song, and I was just wondering, am I, you know, going down a slippery slope? Should I just, you know, because Lord knows I can't afford, don't want to get sued. But they wouldn't get much, but you know, that's
I
something to
understand.
think about.
Yeah, I understand. But you know, we can go back over it, and then maybe we can recreate something different where you don't have to sample anybody's stuff. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe you can layer a bunch of different stuff. You know, make it sound like a sample.
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that. So now let's go back briefly. You talked about your career with scoring films. How did that start?
I was submitting tracks to different labels and different, you know, the music and the film industry, and then I ran into a guy that says, "Hey, I'm about to come out with a film on Fox 45," and then so I told him, "Yeah, I'm a music producer." And so he heard some of my music, and then I got a call like a few weeks later, and I came in. I went to what was it, Columbia? I can't remember, and so it was Goodfellas of Baltimore at that time, and then the director, we had to have a meeting with the director, and then he heard it, and then he approved everything. Then he told me what he wanted, and that's when the real work started. You know, yeah, because he was real anal about everything. You know, any little snippet or something, he'd be like, "No, change that, do this, do that, do that." That's when I really started. That's the first time I actually worked with a director of a film. You know, and so if you're not familiar with working with directors, they can be real, but it's natural for them to be like that because they want to make sure stuff is right.
Right.
But you know, and I still communicate with him. We still talk, and he's still cool. He's still like uncle. I call him uncle. We still talk, and from there, I actually it was a blessing for me because I got to build more relationships, and that's another thing in the music game.
Yes.
Is what
Great.
you got to learn as a producer or an artist is that it's business. Business and relationships are the most important thing in this game.
Absolutely.
If you don't have neither one of them, you don't have nothing.
Absolutely.
You know, I met a lot of people, and it's a small industry, and you know everything comes back around. You know, and you meet really good people. I met B.B. McGill, Beyonce's guitarist, and you know I keep in touch time to time. But you got to build a foundation and then. You know, don't be so quick to, you know, try to, as the, you know, in the game, people calling it trying to get on because you ain't gonna be no star overnight.
Right.
You know, it just don't happen like that. The music game ain't like that. So you gotta build relationships with people, and you know, and then get your music right and everything like that. So that's what I think.
One of the articles that's a great point, and one of the articles that I read for the Indie Bible, it talks about because you know singers come a dime a dozen in music. We hear all different types of music. And so when you put a project out, a song out, it is a representation of who you are, and it has to stand out. It just can't be average. It can't be this, I'm doing this song and half-ass, for lack of a better word. So that's very important.
Yeah. That's important.
Also, I wanted to bring the point. I didn't want to pass this up. Blaze, if you're watching, shout out to Blaze. She stressed the importance of doing a vision board kind of thing to show your project plan. And she got the idea from Rick White from, I see it. Guilty Pleasures. My God, I'm sorry. My birthday's coming up, y'all. But anyway, so yes, and so I finally, and those of you that are watching on listenvisionlive.com, so it's like the whole project, and then just writing out exactly what needs to be done, and then as you are completing each part, then you move it down to the done section. That way you can feel like you are making progress, and that is so important to have a plan.
Right.
And I find that's the difference in what I've been doing up to this point. Because I'd say, okay, I want to do a project, and I'll do a song, and then here we are years later, and it's not completed. That's because you have to have a vision, and you have to map it out.
Yeah,
Very important to map it out, and then to have and set a timeline for yourself. So that's what is different. I have my target date set, so I know exactly how much time I have and what I need to accomplish and when. So that is key. That's something important to consider.
Consistency in the game is key.
Consistency, absolutely.
Build relationships, consistency, and believe in yourself too. But always have that consistency, and just work towards your goal.
And have a good team of people.
Yeah, because I done met people in the strangest places, and it's just running into people. I've been invited to different places, and people just show up. And I'm like, oh, okay,
And you never know.
Yeah, you just never know who's going to be where and who's watching and who's looking. There's always somebody watching and looking and seeing, checking you out. They might not say nothing, but they watching you, checking you out.
All the time on
you
Facebook,
never know.
right?
And it's people that got power, to push the buttons to say, hey, we're going to make this happen. But be serious about what you want to do. Don't play no games, because people ain't going to. I had a lot of artists that just play too many games. That's another thing. I ain't calling nobody out on them, but I'm just saying. And I don't waste my time, because time is money to me.
Right.
And I don't want to be sitting around the studio for 12 hours and you don't want to do nothing, or you ain't got nothing written, or so that's what it's about.
Absolutely. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to see the video.
All right.
Yeah, I wanted to show my audience the video. It's called I Know. And well, we'll talk about how it was made, the process, after we see the video. So check it out.
I
I know, I know, I know, I know, bitch, I know. Been working overtime, been hustling all my life. Got 2 cell phones on the flight off to Rome. I ride with my kinfolk, put me up in a zone. It feels so good to be nice on my own. I put in work, I'm a psycho. I drop it through the city, lessons to be learned. Couldn't wait to get me. Grind on my workflow till I hit the goal. Got arrested 3 times by the fucking po-po. Yeah, I'm chillin' with my folks. I work the flow. They all in my ear. I'm getting blown. I send her to the crib. I ask her for some more. I'm tired of the shit. I'm tired, gotta roll. I take her to the streets. I'm grown, better know. I hustle with the cash flow. I take her to the dome. I'm burned out like NASCAR. I'm gassed up in zones. They put me on the map. I let them fall on their own. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. 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 I know. I know. I know. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. Yeah. 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 I know. I know. I know. I know. Bitch, I know. Life on the line. Plot to get the paper. No need for friends. Nah, I'm a paper chaser. If I need you to cheer, find your replacement. Goddamn, I don't need no career with a hater. Switch gears in the middle of the street. Yeah, I made it. Yeah, flip on me, man. Go insane. Yeah, it's crazy. Put them chains on my neck. Then I ride the elevator, way up in my city. Yeah, I ride the escalator. Yeah, I'm going in the middle of the show, the mic dropping. Yeah, heat for the fans. Know that it's popping. Yeah, fire to the man. Quick to take her shopping. I'm standing on the edge. I'm hanging off the cockpit. I spin another check. I spin it on the outfit. $1,000 in my hand. Some say they doubt it. Yeah, bands to make her dance. I put it on my last hit, and I know I took a chance when I asked her to ask me. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. 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 I know. I know. I know. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. Yeah. 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 I know. I know. I know. I know. Bitch, I know. Bow wow. Bow wow. Bow. Bow wow. Bow wow. Bow wow.
Woo! And that was I Know. I Know. Now, what was the official release date for that video? Was it when Candace sent it to me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was the official release date.
Shout out to Candace. She's watching now. Good job, Candace. Thank you for sending me the video. I appreciate that. And here we are. So let's talk about the making of the video. One, okay. I'd like to first kudos to you both, because I'm finding that quite a few artists, that more and more are doing the videos. But it is so important to back up your song with video, because we're just such a visual people.
Right.
So tell me about the whole process. What was that like?
Making this video?
Yes.
Yeah, it's time consuming.
How long did it take?
It took about continuous shooting, maybe like a month, month and a half. Cause you know, in video, you shoot a lot of A-roll, B-roll, and then a lot of stuff you don't use, and then the stuff that you do use, and sometimes, you know, you get out there and you're shooting for a few hours, and then you get back, and then you realize what fit and what don't fit, and you're like, this don't fit, that don't fit, and so it's all about visions, and the type of vision you have for the video, and how. So it's a long process. It took about a month and a half of just shooting the footage, and that's going back and like, oh man, this don't work, you know, that ain't right, you know, this don't work, and then some of the footage was shot in a couple of hours, and I didn't use it. You know, Candy got mad with me. She's like, "You took me all the way down here, and I did all this, and we ain't even use it." I'm like, "No, it don't fit." But I'm like, that's show business, though. You know, show business works like that. Again, you can't have your feelings on your sleeve, because if you start doing real big projects, you might be shooting for a whole week, and they might not never even use nothing.
That's right.
So it's a lot of work. So, you know.
And so is this something that, because I noticed this is, and I really, I like the fact of you two, husband and wife team, y'all working together. I love that. Is this something that you guys are branching off into? Is this a service offering that other artists can possibly take advantage of, or is this just what you're doing for yourself?
I mean, I'm open. You mean service offering as in?
As in, like, not a part of the package,
film?
but doing the video
shooting
portion.
Film. Well, I tell you, as a producer, I kind of want to stick to doing the music side. But the film production is a whole different animal. It's real tedious. It takes a lot. I've been in the studio, up to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just trying to edit. So I kind of want to stay away from that and stick more with just the music production. But I did, with my wife's help, we did put this together. And so it was a lot of hours. It took, I was up just nonstop constantly for like at least a couple months, just editing and stuff like that. Because you got to find the right fit and everything like that, So it does take time.
All right. So are you, so this is a part of your marketing. Are you sending your videos and your music to different stations and shopping it out, or?
Yeah, I'm shopping. Sending it out. It's on YouTube, and it's on VMO. I'm basically, so this is just released, so I'm gonna send it out. It's gonna be sent out to a lot more places.
Okay, so we have any collaborations going on? Any future collabs with anybody that we know, or you open to collab with folks?
Yeah, I'm open. I'm always open to collaborations, But I just gotta see, who's willing to work. And
Okay. Well, I'm being taught I got to stay on point with the time. See, I just get so lost in time. I enjoy this so much when I get in here and start talking to folk. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to see you perform the song live and in color here at the station. And then we'll end the show with getting information about how people can stay connected to you. Okay. And then that will be a wrap. So we'll be right back in about 1 minute, 30 seconds. 2 and 2, 2 and 2.
It's Rez the Producer. You can reach me on www.reztheproducer.com. I'm on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Rez the Producer. You can email me at reztheproducer@yahoo.com. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. Been working overtime. Been hustling all my life. Got 2 cell phones. On a flight off to Rome. I ride with my kinfolk. Put me up in the zone. It feels so good to be nice on my own. I put in work. I'm a psycho. I drop it through the city. Lessons to be learned. Couldn't wait to get me. Grind on my workflow till I hit the goal. Got arrested 3 times by the fucking po-po. Yeah, I'm chilling with my folks. I work the flow. They all in my ear. I'm getting blown. I sent her to the crib. I ask her for some more. I'm tired of the shit. I'm tired, gotta roll. I take her to the streets. I'm grown, better know. I hustle with the cash flow. I take it to the dome. I'm burned out like NASCAR. I'm gassed up in zone. They put me on the map. I let them fall on their own. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. Life on the line. Plot to get the paper. No need for friends. I'm a paper chaser. If I need you to cheer, find your replacement. Goddamn, I don't need no career with a hater. Switch gears in the middle of the streets. Yeah, I made it. Yeah, it flip on me, man. Go insane, yeah, it's crazy. Put them chains on my neck, then I ride the elevator. Way up in my city, yeah, I ride the escalator. Yeah, I'm going in the middle of the show, the mic dropping. Yeah, he for the fans. No, that is popping. Yeah, fire to the man. Quick to take her shopping. I'm standing on the edge. I'm hanging off the cockpit. I spin another check. I spin it on the outfit. $1,000 in my hand. Some say they doubt it. Yeah, bands to make a dance. I put it on my last hit, and I know I took a chance when I asked her to ask me. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. Yeah. I know. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know.
I know. So how can people where can they get the song?
Go to, it will be on iTunes Monday. Matter of fact, it'll be on iTunes. And they can always go to the website and look at the video. And that's pretty much where they can get it from right now.
Ooh, all right. Okay. Yes. All right. So you heard it here. Thank you. You debuted it here on the Indie Voice Show. All right. We've run out of time. The next show is coming up. What's the name of the show? Listen Up DMV is joining you next. So make sure you stay tuned. Thank you, guys. Bye. See you next week.